Hello everyone, it is Jamarcus. I am back with week 6 of the PUDL Ultra Ball tier, season 2, and this week we are faced up against Mega Mando, who has a very scary team. And I know I said that last week, but I'm saying it again because there's a lot of scary teams in this league. Mega Mando is one of 2 coaches that is 5-0, undefeated, so what that means to me is I've got nothing to lose. He's hoping to keep his streak alive, to get 6-0, keep the perfect run. I've already lost that, so I'm comfortable losing again. I'm pretty comfortable making playoffs right now, but winning another game would be nice. So, looking at his team, he's got a lot of Pokemon that can double their speed. Unburden Sneasler with Rillaboom, Sandrush Excadrill with Tyranitar, or Shelf Smash Blastoise, or even something like a Dragon Dance Flygon. So, his team is very much capable of outspeeding my top Pokemon, who are generally the fastest Pokemon, or the fastest good Pokemon in draft. Despite that, my speed tiers are pretty good here. Greninja barely outspeeding Sneasler is nice. And then Flamingo outspeeding Excadrill and Rillaboom is also nice. I've got some good defensive Pokemon into his team. Overqwil is quite good. It's very good for Sneasler, very good for Rillaboom. Alright for Flygon as well. Definitely wanting Air Balloon or Shuka in that matchup though. Moltres is also great for Rillaboom, fantastic. And then it's very good for Drill as well, but if I get hit by a Rock Slide, that's pretty unfortunate. Primarina is a massive threat to my team. Just everything dies to Moonblast, 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 Surf, Surf, Surf. Serena is all I got for Primarina, and that's why Serena's coming to this game. It's also okay into Tyranitar. It can take a hit from Rillaboom, can take a hit from Excadrill. And since Grassy Terrain will be up, my Power Whips are actually going to be doing a lot of damage, and I brought Terra Grass this week, so that my Power Whips 2-hit KO everything on this team. Besides Talonflame, and like Eviolite Charger Bug, which I don't think is ever coming, things die, or at best get 2-hit KO'd by Terra Grass Power Whip. I'll show you the team in a second, but I'm bringing Adamant, almost max attack Serena. It does a lot of damage. I'm most scared of Sneasler and Rillaboom. Those 2 late game can very much sweep through my team. If Dragapult is taking Chip, Grassy Glide can sweep. Dragapult takes Chip or gets slapped by Dire Claw. Unburdened Sneasler can also sweep very comfortably. So, here's the team I brought. Some very unorthodox sets, but I'm happy with how they came to be. So I have my Dragapult, the Grassy Seed. I'm very confident Rillaboom is coming to this game. He has brought it to every single game, and I don't think he's leaving it on the bench this game, especially because I have double water. So I'm bringing a very defensive Dragapult, max HP, 176 defense, and just enough speed. That's just enough speed to outspeed a Grafaiai, I believe. Should have Showdown up. Give me a second. Alright, I was wrong. It's enough speed to outspeed Sneasler, so his whole team, besides the Talonflame, because I didn't think Talonflame was coming, and even if it did, I don't think Dragapult outspeeding it was that valuable. So, I have Dragon Darts, just to do some good damage, neutral damage into his team. It doesn't have the best Dragon Resists. So see, he has a Primarina and an Excadrill. Excadrill really does not want to take a Will-O-Wisp, so I don't think that would stay in. And then for Primarina, Acrobatics is okay damage. I have Grassy Seed to activate that. Acrobatics was mostly for Sneasler and Rillaboom. It does very good damage into the both of them. It gives me something to at least click into Primarina to get some chip. If it takes some spikes damage, maybe I get a Toxic on it. Or it's taking Sandstorm chip. Acrobatics damage will also add up. Scarf Deoxys Speed is next. The other 2 moves are self-explanatory on this thing. Scarf Deoxys Speed, that's crazy. It's hitting 750 something speed. It outspeeds Jolly Unburdened Sneasler, which was very surprising to me. Sneasler hits 372 speed if it's Jolly, which I don't think will break this game. So it's hitting 740 something after its Unburdened boost. Scarf Deoxys, since regular Deoxys hits just above 500, it's going just above 750 with Scarf. So Scarf Deoxys outspeeds Sneasler and always kills it with a Psychic. I have no special attack investment, and I'm Jolly, but even then, Psychic is killing. If they have a bit of bulk, I'm going to have a Spike Up anyways. So I'm comfortable killing Sneasler with Psychic. I didn't want to go Psycho Boost because I don't want to miss. And I did go Zen Headbutt also because I don't want to miss. I'm only ever clicking Psychic into Sneasler. It doesn't hit anything else on this team. So I didn't need a better Psychic move than that. Superpower, Thunder Punch, and Extreme Speed hit the rest of the team. Superpowers for Drill after it gets a Sand Rush, hits Tyranitar too. Thunder Punch is nice for Primarina because I need something to hit that, but also nice for Talonflame. I was thinking about bringing Rock Slide last move for Talonflame, but it only does 70% to defensive Talonflame, so there's no point. I'd rather have Extreme Speed, in case Rillaboom is about to Grassy Glide sweep me. I've got a Physical, Adamant, Expert Belt Greninja. I have Water Shuriken just in case Greninja's getting, or not Greninja, in case Excadrill is getting out of hand. Also nice for defensive Talonflame so that I'm not getting burned. Again, no special attack investment, but Water Shuriken's doing enough damage. Otherwise, Liquidation, Gunk Shot, U-Turn are doing very good damage into this team. Turning into a Poison type is great this game. Gunk Shot is killing Primarina, doing a lot to Rillaboom. Poison, a great defensive typing for Rillaboom plus Sneasler. And then I have Liquidation, which does good damage into most other Pokemon. And then U-Turn just to pivot around, also get some good damage. Do some of the Pokemon here. Bringing an interesting Overquill set. It's pretty much a lead set. I have Endure plus Custap Berry Self-Destruct to get some big damage on something. Liquidation is just there for Excadrill. And then Spikes, because getting even up one Spike this game helped me immensely with a lot of rolls. The bulk is that I never die to a Choice Band Excadrill Earthquake, even if it's Adamant. And then I can Liquidation it into Custap Berry Liquidation and kill it. The speed is for a timid Primarina, and the Spadef is for a Specs Primarina, as long as it's not modest. But if they brought Specs Prima, they would definitely be modest, but it still helps me live some hits there. This thing is dying in the first 5 turns most likely, so I'm not too worried about the bulk. If I get a Spike up and 50% on something, I'm happy. Assault Vest Serena, that is purely for Primarina. I lose with that thing if I don't bring this. I'm Adamant with a lot of attack. Terra Grass, Power Whip does a lot of damage to this team. Knockoff just to get rid of some items. I'm probably not going to click that. U-Turn's the next most important move on the set. I need to U-Turn on Sneasler because otherwise that thing just comes in on me for free and sets up. And then Grassy Glide is just a funny little tech. I didn't click it in many mocks, but it did come in handy sometimes. Since Grassy Terrain is coming to this game, having a priority move, especially from Terra Grass, is doing a lot of damage to some Pokemon, especially something like Excadrill or a Shell Smash Blastoise. My last Pokemon is Choice Band Flamigo. This thing's very strong. Terra Fighting tears through this team. Nothing really wants to switch into a fighting move. Primarina comfortably gets 2 KO'd. Talonflame is the only real switch in. Rotom, I have Scrappy, so I don't need to worry about it resisting my dual staff. Alright, let's get on to this game. So, here's my team, here's my opponent's team. I forgot to mention what I expected them to bring. I was expecting Sneasler, Rillaboom, Excadrill, Primarina, Tyranitar, and Flygon. Either Tyranitar or Flygon could be substituted for honestly anything else besides Charger Bug. I didn't think Charger Bug was coming. But Talonflame, Rotom, or Blastoise could be subbed for one of these two. Turns out I was right. Rotom comes instead of Tyranitar, but otherwise exactly what I'm expecting. On Birds and Sneaslers, most likely Scarf could come, but I don't think so. I think Assault Vest Prima is not great here. Of course my opponent doesn't know I'm bringing Physical Dragapult and Physical Deoxys and Physical Greninja, but if this thing was Assault Vest, it would be very good into those special attackers. I'm expecting a Poison Resist Berry. Excadrill could be Banded, could be Lead. Flygon I was expecting to be Sash or Scarf. If it was Scarf or Specs, did I say Sash? Sorry. I meant Specs or Scarf. Special attacking. I think Terra Normal Boom Burst is really good into me. Draco plus Earth Power also have really good coverage here. I don't have a Dragon Resist after all on this team. And then Rotom, Scarf Rotom, I was expecting it to be just full switching around this game for free. My best answer is really Serena, and that's just going to get Will-O-Wisped. So Rotom is also a pretty big threat to see. A great speed tier 2, it just barely outspeeds Flamigo. Outspeeding Overquill as well. So a pretty scary team to see. No Talonflame is really nice though. That means I'm really free to click Power Whip on Serena and Close Combat on Flamigo. I'm expecting an Excadrill lead here. They actually ended up leading Flygon. So I'm scared of this thing being specs. I will die to a specs Earth Power, a specs Boom Burst. I also don't want to click Endure turn 1, because if they just click Rocks as I click Endure, that's a really bad situation for me. So thinking that they could be specs, I go into Serena. They Terra Steel and get up Rocks. So they're getting up Rocks, and as you can see, I have no boots. At the end of the last video, I said I'm going to stop bringing so many boots, and maybe my opponent watched and decided to get up Rocks turn 1. So they Scorching Sands to try and burn me. I can't do much to this thing, so I just U-turn out. Maybe I could have knocked off or Terra Grass, Power Whip, and do 40-50%. Maybe even more depending on their spread. But I thought, I'll just U-turn. Go into Flamigo. Maybe they'll think I'm Scarf, or they're defensive and I'm faster. Let me click Close Combat. There's no switching on this team. If they want to go Sneasler and take 60%, sure. If they want to go Primarina and take half, and then risk dying to Terra Fighting next turn, sure. So they go Rotom. Unfortunately, my opponent forgets that Flamigo gets Scrappy, so it goes right through that Ghost typing and drops Rotom in 1. That does show them that I am banded though. And yeah, they forgot. They go into Primarina. This was a play I partially regret. I probably could have just stayed in Terra Fighting and done 60 to 70% to this thing, even if it's max HP. That would have made my late game much more comfortable with Deoxys, Dragapult, and Greninja, but instead I opt to switch here. I go into Serena, because it is my answer to this. They Moonblast, they do a lot of damage, which tells me they're max special attack, but they are not specs. So, I could have either clicked Power Whip and done a lot of damage into Flygon. Again, I could have clicked Terra Grass Power Whip and 2-hit KO'd this thing from this range. Or I can just click U-turn. I opt to click U-turn, which I think was a bad play, and then going into Flamigo was an especially bad play, because they know I'm banded. They're probably faster than me, and I think they can kill me with something, and there they go, kill me with Draco. That was a pretty bad play. I think I should have just Terra Grassed and Power Whipped, seeing as they have no switch in. This thing would have been dead, would have helped me late game. With my Pokemon that struggle to kill it right now, like Dragapult can't kill this thing, Greninja can't kill this thing. Deoxys maybe can kill this thing with a superpower. So my Flamigo goes down after getting 1 kill this game, and I bring in Overqwil to get up a Spike. I figure they want to switch. In comes Excadrill. They are going to be high horsepower this game, not Earthquake, so that does a little bit less damage, which actually tells me that I live if they're banded. So I stay in to click Liquidation just to do some chip. I do live, they are choice banned, and they're Pasho Berry, which means that my Liquidation does not do much damage. But since I am Custap Berry, I can click Liquidation and kill them. I could have gotten up another Spike there instead, but I thought just getting damage on it so that Greninja can come in and U-turn instead of lock into a water typing would be better. The second I click Liquidation, Rillaboom can just come in and Grassy Glide, and then that kind of forces me to activate Dragapult early, whereas I want this thing to win the game late when it's only Sneasler and Rillaboom left. Because as long as that Primarina is at 100%, Dragapult is not doing much this game. So they opt to kill me there. Had they clicked... They weren't banded. Hold on. Sorry, I'm mixing up my calcs. They were never banded. My calcs were on after I intimidate them. I'm completely wrong. They are not banded. They're Pasho Berry. So, Overqwil goes down. I go Greninja. I have no clue why they didn't click Spin there in hindsight. Had they clicked Spin there, I would be in a much worse position. Maybe I could have just self-destructed. That was actually the better play, so that they can't spin. Anyways, they didn't spin, which was nice. I U-turn. I had Water Shuriken, so I could still revenge kill them without revealing Scarf Deoxys, or at least that I had a lot of speed on it. So I U-turn kill them. I go Serena, because that doesn't let in Rillaboom, and if they go Sneasler, that's fine too. I can go Dragapult. Here I opt to Terra Grass Power Whip, realizing my mistake, they click Draco. I knew I wouldn't die there, that's why I made this play, and I Power Whip and miss. That's very unfortunate, that would have done 50 to 60%, and brought this thing in range of Greninja. But I miss, and they Scorching Sands and kill me. I go Greninja anyways, because that's all I can really do here. I don't want to go Deoxys and start clicking Superpower, because that just lets Primarina in, and I have no switch in. The second Primarina comes in, it clicks Moonblast and gets a kill, so I'm trying to avoid that as best as I can. I click Liquidation. They can't really touch me, they're minus special attack at this point. Defense drop doesn't matter. They Draco for not much damage, and I Liquidation to kill them. They go Primarina, perhaps hoping that I'm Choice Scarf, but I am not. I'm Expert Belt, I get a Gunk Shot. They do reveal Kebia Berry, but Gunk Shot does hit, and I get them poison. That was not game winning. I can come in and revenge this thing with Thunder Punch on Deoxys. But even then, the poison, I'll take it, especially for that miss on Power Whip. So I click Thunder Punch. I get a crit. That did not matter unless they're absolute max defense, which I know they're not, based on how much Gunk Shot did. Rillaboom comes out, probably to click U-turn and think, oh, well, I win the game with Sneasler now. I have Throat Chop. I'm going to 2-KO Dragapult. The game's over. Unfortunately for my opponent, this is the exact scenario that I want. Dragapult against the last two Pokemon with Grassy Seed is not going to be taking much damage, and that Grassy Terrain is going to be healing me up very nicely as well. On this turn, I decided to click Will-O-Wisp. I'm back and forth on if this was a good or not play, because had I missed, I still don't get 2-KO'd by Throat Chop, and Acrobatics comfortably 2-KOs this Pokemon. So by hitting a Will-O-Wisp, I do get more turns of Grassy Terrain recovery, so that is nice. But missing there could have put me in a pretty tough spot. I think I would have been fine though, especially because Deoxys should not be dying to a Rillaboom. It is not choice banned. So I'm Acrobatics just to kill it. I finally get the Cursed Body. Would have been nice to get that earlier on so I take less damage. But actually, that might have just led them to start clicking Dire Claw, which had that put me to sleep, I might have lost the game. So maybe it's good that they never got the Cursed Body until the end there. Out comes Rillaboom, they can just knock off and kill me, then I kill with Deoxys. But my Dragapult lives at 1% even, because it's so bulky, it doesn't have an item to be knocked off, and it has the +1 defense. So Grassy Terrain ends, which means they can't even Grassy Glide me here, and Acrobatics takes the game. Dragapult worked exactly as I wanted it to. It was very good that I was able to kill Primarina with Greninja. Had I missed that Gunk Shot, definitely the game was over. Had I hit Power Whip on Flygon, Greninja would have had a bit more health, which wouldn't have really changed much. Maybe I would have lived a Moonblast because I was a pure water type. But overall, pretty happy with how that game went. There was not much luck. My opponent unfortunately went into Rotom on the close combat. But realistically, what were they switching in? They were at Terra Steel Flygon. They weren't killing me with the Draco Meteor. And they didn't know I was banded. If I was Scarf, I'd just kill them anyways. They don't really have a switch in. If they were expecting Scarf, maybe they can go into Sneasler. But then I'm doing way too much damage into them, which means Water Shuriken or Extreme Speed or even maybe Grassy Glide on Serena would kill. One last thing I want to note is I did not have Rapid Spin on Serena. I had it over Grassy Glide initially, but I was never clicking it. My opponents weren't really getting up hazards against me. So I thought Grassy Glide might be more helpful. Overall, I'm happy with the team I brought. Moltres was definitely good this matchup. But I think because of my Dragapult set, I handled the Sneasler and Rillaboom perfectly fine. So, we're up to 5-1. My opponent lost their first game, so they're also at 5-1. That's week 6. And the next week will be a break, so there probably won't be another video for about 2 weeks. But then we'll have week 7 against Razzle Dazzle, which I think will be a very fun matchup. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.